Hello, everybody. We are back with Europa Universalis here at the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. It is June of 1362. We are still at war with Polotsk. Well, wait, that's right. Volhynia dropped out. Kiev and a bunch of other places, Serbia, Bulgaria, and Wallachia. Sorry, it took me a second. I was trying to read. I was just like, wait, who else are we at war with? The occupation of Kapshi is successful. 57% war score now. Marriage arranged for Stoletsky. Okay. Vyacheslav Stoletsky, the Principality of Pitsk, has announced their marriage to Ilona Vilnisius from Yuria Polsky. Maybe that will tie our countries together, closer together. Pitsk and Penidovus goes up by 10. We have exiles of the Teutonic Order. Eyes and ears of the Teutonic Order report that they have taken in many of our Grand Duke's political enemies and previously been exiled from Lithuanian court or chose to seek opportunities elsewhere. They are now pushing for strong action against the current Lithuanian regime and are providing active assistance to the Teutonic Hochmeisters. Towards the achievement of that aim. Okay. I mean, that was not a surprise. We are also building our own spy network against the Teutonic Order right now. Making it 6.2 ducats, we still have quote-unquote negative stability, -0. 95 legitimacy, 640 pops, 0 prestige, although we're at 0.04. 0.83 diplomats, no war exhaustion under 85 manpower, we're gaining 8 a month. And we did take Kiev. For the annexation of Polotsk, August the 1st, 1360 died. Kazadez got down to 0.10. I mean, it just continues to go down. It just continues to go down. I don't think we're ever going to actually annex them, honestly, at this point. We are converting Lida. We're up to about 68%, and we are trying to stabilize the country, which is actually helping with the stability, of course. So the Poles have actually beat us there. So we'll move over to the next province. New market underway. Merchants are trying to see the possibilities with the new market in Thessalonica. I mean, well, it actually makes sense because the Ottomans have taken Constantinople and have pushed the Byzantine Empire a little bit further back. They're probably just trying to get their own market that they can control. We do have 3 children, of course. We are 264th ranked in the world right now. Euphemia is our eldest at 6, then our son and heir, Lou Bartis, is 4, and our younger daughter, Angelica, is 2. So within the next year, she will come of an age where she can, be given a different education. We do have 123.22 ducats. Like I said, 6.59 right now monthly. We do have our army raise. We do have some negative stability that we're spending money on. And I am watching a video right now that talks about the different resources and which ones you really want to make sure you have. The occupation of Lubna is successful. and which ones you can maybe avoid. How? Wait, what? So because they have a larger army, even though they got there after me, they win. Fine, whatever. Then we'll go down here. We'll take Poltava. It's kind of annoying though because we're trying to make sure that we've contributed enough war score to like maybe get some land, and the Poles are all like, yeah, you know what? Again, we're not going to take much land, and I'm not going to ask for a lot because I don't think we'd get much. We do know that we have an underage heir, so I mean that part's not really news. Now the good news is the Poles are going to owe us favors, so when we do declare war on the Teutonic Order, the Polish should come in on our side pretty strongly. I mean that is the good news about this. Although the Teutonic Order sitting right on our border does kind of worry me. Hey, but we are finally out of the negative stability. And this time we have taken a city, so we are going to march our army back into Lithuania. We have 70.88% of Lida. Excommunications be debated. The leader of Genoa is presently up for excommunication, apparently. So again, religiously, you can see we do have a nice little pocket of Catholicism that is growing a little bit, right? It's a little bit more greenish. Of course, it's a little hard to see the difference, but like Western Kiev was occupied by us, Central Kiev was mostly occupied by Poland. We did take one extra province. Truce with Bohemia will end in 1370. I mean, that actually would not be a terrible next adversary for us, but we're going to try to march our army back and say, you know, well, we've done a pretty good job. You know, we helped you, you know, win the war. We've occupied parts of Halych. We've occupied most, or I don't know if you could say 50% of Kiev with you, you know, talking to Poland. So I feel like we've done pretty well. And we have tried to improve our proximity somewhat. It's not great. It's still not great in a lot of places, but we have tried to improve it. And again, food and other RGOs are our main things. So we do disband our entire army. just because we're at 84% war score. They have no men. The alliance has 27,000 men. It just did seem like we really needed to be focusing on, you know, continuing to fight. Especially, again, the Teutonic Order's army is right there. It is literally right there. It says we have 118 burghers in Vilnius, but we still don't have anybody working in the Jewelers Guild. We also still do not have enough soldiers. In Turkey, we don't have enough burghers. In Kaunas, we don't have enough. In Gardinus, we do, apparently. And in Minsk, we also have enough. We actually have, well, no, we don't. Potter's Guild is not employed. So I'm really kind of confused as to why we. So our tax base, our use fort, okay, our army size 0, trade capacity 0, from subject 0. A great power score is 280, or power in the world with a great power score 37.78. We cannot afford the 193.69. Or the 176.89. All right, we still have 0.16 too much cultural capacity. So the efficiency of our category goes down by 1.63%. Culture influence and cultural tradition go down by 4.08. So, I mean, we do have 41% of our pops are Annexation. Almost at 100% war score. Here in February, it looks like the Teutonic Order's army has finally kind of dissipated a little bit. If we wanted to build a bailiff, it would cost 140.80. And then get like more scoring out at 100%. Now, again, the bailiff is going to cost money. Building maintenance, negative 2.53. Royal court, 0.71. Marketplaces, bailiffs are each worth 0.23 apparently. Sergeantry is negative 0.3. Temples are worth some. Monastery is not worth much. Windmills are not worth much. So is that going to give me enough? I don't know that it's going to give me enough, like, to justify the building of the bailiff, though, right? Like, I mean, it might, but at the same time, dude, you're at 100% war score. Right? I would want to see, okay, what about the province? All right, the Mazur province. All right, Kyiv would accept. What are the other provinces over here? Chernobyl. Okay, I mean, honestly, just negotiating for ourselves. We can get 96 ducats and an entire province. I feel like that's pretty good. I mean, I do kind of feel a little bit bad that we're signing the peace before Poland, but then again, you know, Poland just took a bunch of land from Volhynia and didn't give us anything really. So I feel like this at least gives us a little bit of a path, right? And the 96 ducats are huge. So we are no longer at war, although we do have a unincorporated province now, of course. I wasn't sure, you know, how much land Poland was going to give me, right? And I mean, there's lumber, legumes, you know, the fruits, vegetable, livestock. I mean, again, we're a largely agricultural region, so in terms of the resources and like in unhappiness among the Mystici, conflicts and protests with the Mystici over taxes, state-owned businesses, trade laws, and customs policies are becoming quite frequent. This could result in a sharp drop in our revenue if we do not handle the situation carefully. Yeah, they'll lose 10 the state satisfaction, but I didn't want to lose the prestige. Right, obviously, again, you know, trying to find the best RGOs, the best resources we can, but we're not, you know, a land that's blessed with a lot. You know, we don't have a lot of cotton, we don't have spices, we don't have like a lot of really good mines. We have iron eventually, but that's not going to happen right away. And we're just kind of going to be left in a situation now where, again, largely rural, I mean, and largely agricultural is basically what we're going to have available to us. And, well, in theory, there's nothing wrong with that. And I knew that going into Lithuania. At the same time, it does, you know, raise a little bit. Costs 82. So we are going to build the road from Solka to Gardinas. We are up to 678,000 pops because we got the 27,950. Well, this is really weird now. So this is really weird. So now we are down. Now we're up to 0.74 again for annexation progress. So April of 1364 for Polotsk. I mean, I'm not complaining per se. That's just very strange to me. That we went from 0.10 to now 0.74 again. Not entirely sure why either. Because I'm not entirely sure why we went down to begin with, but what are we missing? All of our government needs are satisfied, its abilities are missing goods, okay. Sugar. We are still missing sugar. I mean, it still says we have no burgers employed for the jeweler in the capital. So, I mean, that's something I would definitely want. Now, I wish there was a way we could get to control. Well, it says monthly goes up by 0.5, so let's see if it actually does. Because you can see it goes negative 69% for... Oh my god, I am so tired of this stupid thing. Sorry. But... It pops up all the time. It refuses to acknowledge the fact that I know it's no longer the operating system. I've tried to like uninstall it. But anyways, moving on. Oh, there we go. Diplomatic annexation costs negative 10%. Although having many countries serving us can be beneficial, only by gathering their different titles under our own will be able to best utilize their resources. In the end, it is clear that a ruler with only one title will pale in comparison to us with our splendid array of impressive sounding titles. So we actually... Okay, so we're actually past what... It says we have 220, need 204, so we actually have more than what we need. Okay, Angelica is ready to get an education, but we'll wait a month and see what traits she has. We are up now to 2 positive stability, so at least there's that. 96 legitimacy, so I mean, we're inching our way back into a good position. We're not quite there yet, but we are inching our way. I think potentially Polotsk will be annexed. Yep, there we go. Annexing Polotsk. Our integration of the Principality of Polotsk has taken a fair bit of time, but now that Polotsk is a Lithuanian town, it will reach its full potential, make our nation prosper even more. There are other territories that has not appreciated this expansion of our territory. Subject states change their opinion of us by -50, and every neighbor of the Polotsk changes their opinion by -30. It appears that Angelica Genobitis, a child of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, is gregarious. So this is an episode, ironically, where, you know, we have expanded quite a bit. We've lost 2 ducats there. Not until April of... Oh, we don't have enough diplomats. Okay. We now have 747,000 people. Polotsk has 10,316 people available. And it does give us another strong seat of control, as it was a capital region. Narmontis, who is Gallant, so I'll give him a military education. Ansifor, gregarious, diplomatic. Angelica is my daughter, gregarious, again, diplomatic. So all of our royal children, I guess, are now being educated. We have 1.05 in trade capacity. Yeah, I mean, again, sugar is just not something that they're really going to be wanting to send us. We are starting to try to annex Novogrudok, right? To try to give us a little bit more, you know, this central region here to become part of Lithuania. Don't quite have 5,000 men, which is interesting. We expect this to be done in 1381. We are going down to Mazur. We're taking a break from the religious conversion to Catholicism to go down to Mazur September 1st. Wow. 1414 is what they expect it to last to. That is quite a while. So, fur is a better resource now because more people will wear it. So, we're actually going to try to export that. And if we go back into our trades, our current trades, right, we are actually exporting fur to Bruges, which still needs 1.36. So, we're almost exporting everything that they need. So if we try to expand fur by another one, furs are one of the basic elements of high quality and warm clothing. Skins from all kinds of animals are supplied initially from Russia, but more and more from North America, where beavers would be the prize of choice until at least the late middle 18th century. Can no longer improve relations with Hungary. Vilnius to London. Okay, London actually has enough. Bruges does not, so, you know, that should be fine. And, I mean, I would think, again, you know, yet another trade we just did for furs, or an expansion of trade for fur, you would think that would drive the price up just a little bit, but apparently not. This doesn't seem to be going up. Current control. Oh, well, that's because, okay, it's already at the maximum. Okay. They're expanding wool again. Now, wool is something that got nerfed a little bit in the patch, so... We are building our third bailiff here in Vassage. Those who handle large sums of money have always been tempted to claim more than their fair share of it, and tax collectors are no exception. However, while we can afford somebody being lost along the way, affluent citizens have recently found that they can avoid some taxes altogether, but pay large bribes to taxmen instead. Currently, this scheme seems to be supported by some of the older tax collectors who are trying to retire comfortably. While tacitly allowing this practice is costly, we might be able to avoid spending time and effort on a detailed investigation instead of just wait it out. Investigate and replace the corrupt tax collectors immediately. We'll lose 5 legitimacy. Or if we just let them retire, we'll lose legitimacy. I don't want to lose legitimacy, but I also did not want to lose 70 ducats. We apparently don't have enough nobles now. Still says we don't have anybody working in the jeweler. Then, you know what? We're just going to get rid of the building. There. That's easy. I mean, I wasn't thrilled to do that, but at the same time, if you're just not going to hire anybody for that building, eventually, why wouldn't I do that? Right? Good Lord, we are only getting... Why is this... Okay. Lose a lot more money going into January, 8.72. Now again, so Kolka has -0 proximity. Now it does have a bailiff, so I mean... I don't know that it would have built a bailiff in every single province. Right, that would seem a bit extreme to me. We have another daughter, again, Joanna. They are just obsessed with her being named Joanna. She'll be named Christina. Now, I know Rhodes used to assist in the formation of control, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. So I'm just trying to see if there's a little... Proximity obviously propagates best along coastal rivers. Bridges, apparently. And 50% primary culture also helps. Bridges. Interesting. Of course, I don't know if that includes the Rousback patch. That was just something from Reddit. Bridges. Why would bridges... The culture I can understand. Right? You have things in common with people. You're more akin to maybe accept their rule over you. I can understand that one. Again, proximity. Like, I don't see how that's going to help control. The Cardinals of the Curio sent come to a conclusion for the Pro Divini for 10 years and take it as a received negative 20%. So we very briefly had over 10 ducats, but now we... Though, I mean, we have more than enough lumber and masonry. All living creatures... Oh, dear God. It's the one about the animals being on trial again. Bryansk has declared us to be a rival. Again, although I would say, why did we lose more money? Oh, well, that's why, because our crowd power went back down. Why did it go down? Who knows? But it did. Well, probably because, you know, the nobles keep building, which I understand. I can appreciate that. But I don't make enough money to build at the rate that they build. And I can't just build bailiffs every freaking province. So yeah. Gain 50% culture acceptance to boost max control by 20%. So basically, you need more cultural control, and it keeps talking about roads. Even though when I click on a road, it does not say anything about control. Just about proximity. Case in point, has it changed the control of Suwalki one bit? proximity is better, but nothing about control. It costs 185 to build this one road. Now you can use clay to get salt, but I was just thinking of say it as well, you know, to try to drive down the cost of building roads apparently, but yeah, 14. Well, doesn't the road even lead that way? No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, we'll go for increasing control. Right, and we'll see what we can get out here, and then potentially he'll turn around and convert them to, you know, some of our culture. And then maybe eventually try to start converting them to Catholicism. So we'll build another die maker in Vilnius. Countess has a Potter's Guild. Gardinus. I mean, you can create a town apparently, and that also increases the control. Interesting, given again, I don't know that really makes sense to me, but okay. If we invite a foreign cleric, the priesthood will lose 50% of state satisfaction. Yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Provincial food is negative 4.41. I mean, sturdy grains, 0.29. Irrigation food population capacity goes up by 1,000. Food production goes up by 5%. We need tools. The windmill output goes up by 10%. Although I guess that's another building that we're gonna have to have maintenance on, right? So I guess in that regard, maybe that wasn't that smart. Tools Guild. .21 in tax, 1.29 in wealth. Okay, iron we have enough of. Tools we have enough of, but you know what? We're already trying to expand our die makers. We don't currently have a navy, so naval supplies I'm not going to worry about right now. Yeah, 30.74, that's still just the max we seem to be able to get. They're building a granary and they're expanding a farm in Punia, which, again, we don't have any workers here in charcoal because they're always expanding the damn farms. So on that note, we'll build another charcoal kiln. Now, again, I don't know that we really need one, but that was going to be have the most potential profit for us, right? So the bailiff has been built, which is going to decrease our income a little bit. Now it just says 1382 as opposed to 1414 for the annexation. But I mean, really, like, you get these 4 places and those 2. I mean, that's a good-sized empire now. Again, we're not going to, have a ton of control over all of that. We're not going to get a ton of people over it right away, but it is a good-sized empire. So we'll zoom out. We'll see what's going on. Serbia's being... Oh, dear Lord. Serbia, Bulgaria, Wallachia are all about to die. Potentially, right? The Ottomans. Aquitaine is occupied by Spain or Castile. Tlemcen is pushing it to Africa. Egypt is quite large. Georgia's trying to hold on. The Golden Horde, once again, has been occupied by a bunch of people. Excuse me. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure this out. Apologies for a little bit of the delay there. Like, what else we might be able to do? Yeah, we just have the two diplomats, or not the two diplomats, the two cabinet ministers. You know, one is trying to get Mazur a little bit integrated. The other is working on control, of course. Just out of curiosity, what does the cabinet want? Really doesn't like any of it. Okay. And we do have the 4 children. Luabartis is 6. Euphemia is 8. So, I mean, they are starting to get a little bit older. Our character is 26 years old. We are a fierce negotiator and a charismatic negotiator, so we're actually pretty good diplomatically. What is this? Speaking of, this guy's a 39 militarily. He's a 50. And that has something to do with why it's taking him forever, but... And he's a 61, he's a 33. So Doug DeGurtis here is pretty trash at everything. I cannot lie, but... I do think we'll probably be wrapping up the episode here pretty soon now that we are at 1365. You know, our income is better. Okay, create a Casus Belli. Oh, we don't have a diplomat though. Okay. Gardinus could have something. A Spinner's Guild. Okay, wool we have 0.895. Fiber crops we have very similarly. So we will build a Spinner's Guild and a Gardenia. What else are they building? Oh, that's right. They're still building the granary. My bad. So we've got a dye maker, a windmill, a Spinner's Guild, and a charcoal kiln. a granary being built by the nobility, and they're expanding the farms in Punia. So you can see again the green areas obviously are the best proximity. You know, control is very similar. Although it is getting a little bit better here. Glass Guild is unprofitable. The arrogant administrators, the officers, the offices that deal with our subject nations have become so isolated from those that they govern that they have become arrogant, convinced that there is no point in listening to anyone out of the capital. The anger of the colonies and vassals has boiled over. All of our vassals lose opinion of us. It's not great. Premslava, we'll just give her a diplomatic education. Hope that she ends up being gregarious or something that could use a diplomatic education because we just gave it to her. I wouldn't mind if we get more and more trade capacity to try to continue to expand on the fur trade. That might be something we could do. Again, like the big thing with the dyes, right, is if you go to the Tailors Guild right now, we're losing productivity. Even though, like, at Vilnius, right, we have negative 61 people available for employment because I'm not sure why, but you can see we have negative 13% production efficiency. Why do we have 32? Okay. Negative 30% because we only have 20.47% of the dyes are supplied locally. So that is something that we're obviously hoping we can change, right, moving forward, is that you know, we can produce more and more dyes. The Tailors Guild will make more and more money for us. I think we're maxed out here as we have apostate servitudis. In spite of any prohibitive laws of the church, some ecclesiastics had drifted into the habit of occupying themselves with worldly businesses and pursuits. Yep. Devotio Moderno, advanced research, expecting constant core negative 1%. The Devotio Moderno, or modern devotional movement, is rapidly gaining popularity among members of our faith. We should implement some of our teachings into our core so as to make ourselves appear particularly devout. So Salau or Salawi, I'm not really sure. 6.24% oxidation, so we're going to try to convert some of them into our culture. Still says 20.47% of dyes are supplied locally, even though we should be making more dye now. Well, it's still negative 0.17. But then again, that building's not fully employed yet. So having more than 50% of your accepted culture is, good, obviously. Right now, still says 1382 for the annexation of Novgorod. A new confession of the faith. Reformers have put forward a new confession of the faith that has some minor but serious differences with the Catholic teachings. The Catholic Church claims that borders on the heretical, but while there are those who suggest that this new confession will bring the Catholic Church and its administrative apparatus under tighter control. Catharism and Waldensianism. Oh, damn, everyone, we will... Ooh, that would have been an opportunity potentially to change our religion, but... And we passed on it, obviously. Yeah, we have the windmill, the Spinners Guild, and the charcoal kiln currently. Veliki Novgorod have declared us to be a rival. Sorry, I went to yawn and I had a little bit of lockjaw right there, so I was just... that was the purpose of that delay in communication on my part. So again, like, where are they going though? Like, we do have enough sergeants, so they're, and men in there, right? The windmill's about to be done, so this will be curious. We get plus night food. So I'm curious to see what the windmill's construction does, right? We have plus night food. We get 5 for working with sturdy grades. Food productivity is 70%. Renaissance and baking professional armies are not spreading. Now, unfortunately, because we can't get burgers into Vilnius, I can't really build my library there right now either. Okay, fur, we're still working at wild game. I don't think we really need. Lumber, I know we don't need. Medicaments, not that important. Sturdy grains, sturdy grains. Beeswax? Price is going down. Lumber, again. Clay. I mean, I guess clay, right? You could build a masonry, which is important. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. Our spy network's been discovered. We are going to send another diplomat, though, to try to humiliate the rival. Gets the Teutonic Order. So the output goes up by 1.5%. So it's up to 72% now for the food productivity. Where are we on masonry? What is our... Wool, I know we have enough of. 1.32. Okay, so we could use some more masonry. I don't remember putting that building down. But we are going to try to build another masonry to increase our building supplies. Again, Spinners Guild 440 days, a little under 300 days for the masonry now. About 37% annexation. So anyways, that is where we'll wrap up today's episode as we head into December 3065. And I will hopefully be around and talk to y'all later. And continue to try to do a better job at this whole recording thing. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you later.